It's usually the best way to do it, right? Just jump
right?
into it because
Well, I'm proud of you for trying to take some downtime because I know that for you in particular that is really difficult.
it's very hard. Very,
So
very hard.
I'm really proud of you for making that a priority for you these last few days
Thank you. It has,
because while I absolutely hate with a capital hate the thing when people are like, you can't pour from an empty cup. I'm like, women pour from empty cups all the
all the
fucking
time.
time.
Yeah.
Shut
I
up. But 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 for you, you can't pour from a cup that's cracked.
honey, say it again.
So I'm just going to say I'm proud of you for laying low the last couple of days. I
Yeah.
know that we're going to talk about the whole Venezuela thing today, but I know that that's been making you hop on and off and on and off to like, explain the situation, review the reactions, the
Mhm.
implications, all that sort of thing. But I'm glad that in between those spaces that you
Yeah.
have taken the time to just chill out.
It has really been a challenge. And I don't know what the hell I had or have because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm still sick. And I can hear it, right? So like,
I
um,
feel like your voice is coming from like way back here.
yeah, it is.
If that makes sense,
Uh-huh.
right?
It
Like,
is. It's not 100% because I usually speak from my diaphragm.
yeah.
So this is and funny. I have some clients that all they want are voiceovers this week. So
Well, that's because you got that sexy rasp going on. Get it
yeah,
done, girl. Get it done.
I mean, because it's a cute money. Well, yeah. So this and it's going around like um they're saying, well, some folks are saying I wasn't diagnosed with COVID. I wasn't diagnosed with the flu. It's not this. It's not that. Well, same thing happened to me. I don't care what it was. It was awful.
Yeah.
Officially, I have been sick for 3 weeks as of
Yes.
Thursday.
Yep.
Um, and I'm draining, like right here in my forehead. It's really bad. And then nausea keeps coming. So I'm like, oh shit. If it's not one thing, it's another. And I still have to run the business, the brownstone. So and my little team, they just waiting, because I'm the one that supplies the content as I get it. So I'm gonna have to fill that gap this year. Anyway, enough of that. Happy New Year to you, my
I don't
friend.
celebrate the new year in January. I think it's dumb to celebrate new beginnings and refreshing and rejuvenation.
In the
When
winter.
it's freaking winter. Let's do it in the spring when things are awakening, as
Mhm.
our ancestors always did. Whether you're
Yes,
white, black, it doesn't matter. Our ancestors celebrated new life, new beginnings in the spring.
yeah, I agree. I
So the
100%
spring
agree.
equinox will be my happy new year. Be prepared. I will have the happy new year top hat, the noise makers. I will be doing
So
all.
what is
Just be prepared.
Yes, ma'am. I will definitely. So what are we talking about today for this podcast? What are we
Okay,
doing?
so just I want to review what you just said. I want to circle back
Yeah.
what you just said that nobody knows what this virus is.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my friends called me last Sunday. So I gotta get my new calendar. I don't like that there's nothing here on the wall for me to be like, what day was that?
Uh-huh.
Irritating. Okay, that's neither here nor there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but she had been sick since I don't know, like maybe the day before Christmas Eve.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, oh, it's just a sinus infection. I get
Mm-hmm.
one of these really bad once a year. And I was like, I don't know. You have a fever,
Yeah.
you're exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
And then on what was it? One anyway, she was down for the count. And
Mm-hmm.
Sunday she called me. I thought on Saturday she might be getting a little better. She called me, she texted me at 1 o'clock in the morning, which girl, I didn't see that till I woke up
Right.
Sunday morning. But she said, I don't know what this is. Can you
No.
pick me up and take me to urgent care? Because I can't
Mm.
drive.
Mm.
And I was like, yes, absolutely. I went to pick her up. She had to stand in line to, like to register at urgent care. And she was
Couldn't
swaying.
see.
She was swaying. And I was like, oh my God. They tested her for the flu. They tested her for COVID, both negative.
Yep.
They did an x-ray of her lungs to make sure it wasn't pneumonia, right? But she lost her taste of sense. She lost her senses of smell and taste.
Mm-mm.
And they were really concerned because she seemed to have a lot of fluid buildup, like behind her ear.
Same here. Yes.
And so
Yes.
I told her, I said, I think that COVID test was wrong. Number one. She was like, yes, clearly. But then she went and got antibiotics, which it turns out it was probably part sinus infection. Because it started, she texted me Friday. She texted me Friday, 2 days ago, and she's like, so 2 things happened. Now, when your friend who has been ill texts you this, you think, oh, holy shit, what happened? Do I need to go to the hospital? Do I need to pick you up and take you to the hospital? Like, what are we doing? And she's like, I smelled Sophia, that's one of her cats, stinky poo, and my ear popped. I was like, well, all right. That's amazing. Like, nobody wants to smell cat poo, but that's awesome. And she's one of those people where she's like really meticulous about the cats. So like when you walk into her house, you don't even know she has animals, right? Like there's no scent or anything. But the fact that she could finally smell and her ear pops, she said, which was painful. Wow. But all of a sudden, like the world opened up a little bit.
Opened up.
Wow. Outside of her left ear, right?
That's crazy.
But I think it's probably, I don't think maybe you haven't had the sinus infection, but you clearly have had this, whatever virus it is, that's not COVID, it's not RSV, it's not the flu, it's not pneumonia, right?
I don't know what this is, but I tell you, I feel out of sorts. I feel there are those of us who can tell when spring is coming by how our chest feels. I feel like spring is coming. That's what it feels like. It's the weirdest feeling. Like I can always tell when the spring and summer solstice happens. And that's what I feel like.
Except you know that's not really happening, and you're correct. You've had a fever.
Yes.
So yes. That's a virus. But I will remind people that, let's just say for the sake of this conversation, because time is fluid and I can't remember. Well, let's just say like 4 years ago. Or maybe a little after that. So I got COVID in December of 21. And then in March, I got 2 viruses. Like, I'm sorry, no, it was one was in March, one was in like May. I got 2 viruses. It was not COVID, it was not the flu, it was not pneumonia, it was whatever. Jessica, my friend who I was just talking about, also had that virus, as did the 6-year-old daughter of one of her colleagues, as did the 2-year-old daughter of a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And doctors were like, we don't know what this is. This is a terrible virus. We don't have a name for it. We don't know where it's come from, but it can be devastating, right? You do recover, but it has almost that super long, slow recovery from COVID.
Yes, that's where I'm at.
That's what it mimics.
Yes.
So anyway, I'm just glad that you're on the mend, and please continue to take that downtime. I know you feel like with tomorrow being January 5th and oh my God, now the new calendar year has started and holy shit, we got to do this, we got to do that. You don't.
No. I'm trying not to. I promise.
Girl, I am going to call you 15 times tomorrow to make sure your ass is on the couch sometimes.
I'm not. The only thing that I have done is I've taken my braids down and washed it.
I like your hair. It's cute like that.
Thank you. I absolutely hate it. So y'all, for those of you who don't know, which you probably don't, I have not cut my hair in 4 years because I shaved myself bald. 4 years ago, literally 4 years ago, December. And has it been 4 years? I think it's been 4 years. Well, whenever. It's been either 3 years, 4 years, whenever. And I got really super sick. So I lost my hair during the transition of the treatment. I always like to put it that way so I don't bring that energy back to myself. But anyway, so I lost my locks. I had waist length locks and they were very tiny and they were
beautiful. I saw pictures. Beautiful.
And my hair is growing back. But it is of a texture that I am not familiar with.
In what way? Is it thinner, thicker, coarser, not finer? Like, what is it?
It's finer.
Okay.
It's finer. It's curlier.
Mhm.
I have these little spirals.
That's so cute.
And yeah, and then so I'm pulling, and so my hair is doing this bounce back, and my hair is literally to my shoulders, but you can't tell because my hair is super springy. But it's super whatever, and I'm really not digging it, but we're gonna deal with it today because I'm not putting anything else in my hair because I'm getting ready to start a workout regime.
Uh-oh.
Anyway,
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Okay, well, let's go,
I
girl.
have to go wash my
I have
hair.
been going to the gym. Well, the goal was to go to the gym 3 times a week since like the middle of December.
Mhm.
That hasn't quite worked out. It did last week and it will this week. And I'm also trying to, now that I say this because people down south are going to be like, I'm sorry, what now? As it's warming up a little bit here, which means we have highs in the 30s as opposed to the teens. We'll be able, like my friends and I will be able to walk in the morning now.
Yeah, did y'all hear what she said? And I'm from Wisconsin. No, ma'am. Born and raised. No, absolutely the fuck not.
But to fortify myself, I told Paulette I was going to do this. To fortify myself for this conversation. This is a Door. Are you ready for this? I want to watch Paulette's face when I say this. This is a Door County cherry vodka limeade. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Do I need to go make one?
Yes.
Look at your face. Oh my God.
Okay, so I have to remind you and the good people watching, I am never the friend who's going to be like, no, you shouldn't do that.
Don't do it.
Because if you're like, should I go do this? I'll be like, of course you should, but I'm coming too. What time do we leave? Right? Like that's going to be me. Should I send this email? Well, let me read it and make sure it's okay. And then I'll make a couple changes. But yes, go off, friend. Yes, always. No. I'm never going to be that one. Don't ever ask me, do I really need that chocolate cake? Girl, yes.
Yes. No, we're gonna do this show, and I'm gonna look at you and salivate. That's what we're gonna do.
But when I say Door County cherry vodka, what I mean is it is a bottle of Door County cherry vodka mixed with limeade.
My God, today.
And you get it Costco, friend. But only here.
No.
Only here in Wisconsin.
What? Mm-hmm. Oh, damn.
And Door County cherries.
My God. My God. My God.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Good.
To quote whichever famous rap song that is, which I cannot remember.
All right. So
let's talk. Okay. Paulette has been going live off and on for the last 36 hours to talk about the new fuckery that has captured the world's attention, and not in what kind of stupid shit did Trump do this time? We fucking invaded Venezuela.
Yes, we did.
We violated the sovereignty of another nation to facilitate a regime change so that American oil companies can reestablish their dominance in the region. But he did all that without talking to said oil companies.
And they're like, no, we're not going over there.
Yeah, we're good. Like, we wrote that shit off on our taxes like 30 some years ago or 40 years ago or whatever the fuck it was. Either it was in the 1970s or 2007. Either way, it doesn't matter. But yeah, we wrote that off already, so we're good.
Yeah. So
but the reason, so I took some notes because I'm a professional. I did it on the back of an envelope.
So professional.
Because when you're a professional, you just grab the closest thing, right? Pen. Yep. This is technically paper. So first of all, why don't you for the people, because you've been diving into this and I have been a mere spectator, except for the last hour or so.
Sure. And you want me to kind of give a backstory? Sure.
Yep. Do the recap.
Absolutely. I would be happy to. So let's talk about what has happened. I'm actually going to pull up my notes from when this first happened. So I found out about this, and it just so happened that I was up. I was awake when the shit hit the fan. So around 4:00 in the morning, which was about an hour after all things had begun to occur in Venezuela, I was scrolling through and realized that Venezuela had struck. That the U.S. had struck Venezuela 7 times. I watched the video, and I couldn't believe it. So of course, I start to go to some of my favorite international news resources, and sure the hell enough, the U.S. had launched military strikes on Venezuela, and that they had basically kidnapped Maduro and his wife, the president of Venezuela. And
why is that a problem, ma'am?
Well, first of all, I just
want to raise my hand. Dr. Clark, why is that a problem? Like, he's a bad guy. Why is that a problem?
So the first thing is regardless of what we may say is true, 2 things can be true at the same time. And one is that this is not legal under international and U.S. law. The UN Charter, the United Nations Charter, generally prohibits the use of force against another sovereign state except in self-defense or with Security Council authorization, which he didn't have either. How about that?
And what else did he not have? Congress.
He did not have the authorization of Congress. So not the president alone gets to decide to declare war, right? There was no military aggression. Our lives were not at risk. And Venezuela has basically described these airstrikes as military aggression, and they're going to, of course, pursue international and legal action. That's the first thing that they're going to do. So 2 things are absolutely true at the same time. One, yes, by all accounts from the people that I know personally who are from Venezuela, who have moved to this country, they say that he literally is a dictator. But at the same token, what that does not do is that does not give the United States the right to go into another country and make these decisions. But he did. He and his administration made these decisions without the Constitution. And so here's the other thing: U.S. domestic law. The U.S. Constitution actually authorizes Congress, not the president, to declare war. I just said that. Recent U.S. strikes, boat strikes, drone operations, and now land strikes have been carried out, listen closely, folks, without explicit congressional authorization for war. Okay? So we got lawmakers who've raised constitutional concerns, arguing that the president exceeded his war powers. He absolutely fucking did. Now, pause, because this is coming across my feed, and Heather, I'm gonna lean more on you for this one, okay, because this continues to keep coming up on my black ass feed. And I don't want to talk about it because I'm angry, and it aggravates me to no end that people assume because I look like this that everything that Obama did was all Guns N' Roses to me.
Oh, so we're talking about white people being totally showing their ass.
Yeah, they're absolutely saying, well, you didn't say that when Obama went and did what he did, and when he went to Libya and he took out XYZ, you didn't say. What the fuck does Obama have to do, first of all, with this? And let's dig a little bit deeper and find out what exactly did he do. Because let's just keep this for shits and giggles. I just want to say this. Number one, Obama wore a tan suit, and all of America.
Oh my God, the world lost its fucking shit.
So if President Barack Obama, had literally done this without a UN charter or without congressional approval, you don't think we would have heard about that shit? You don't think they would have impeached him and walked his ass out?
They would have not only impeached him, but they would have put him on trial, legal
There would have been no trial.
trial in court.
Mhm. Yep.
Federal court for violating articles, blah, 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 whatever they are, right?
Exactly.
So what do you need to lean on me for? Because white people are dumb and they lose their shit about stupid stuff too much?
Well, that, number one. And number two, because I literally have been researching this and can't find any information to back up what I know he did. So there's that.
Well, you know, what's shocking to me, I'm shocked to the core, is that people would go on Beyonce's internet and come for you without sources to back them up. Shocked to the core.
Oh my God, did you say?
What?
Well, I didn't make it any better. So there's that, right?
Well,
So
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
Hold on.
When people start talking about peacetime in the US, we have not known peace ever.
That part.
Not since before we decided we wanted revolution to form our own country, right?
Mm-hmm,
and that was more than 250 years ago.
See,
we have not had peace. We have always been at war in one way or another, whether it is through direct US involvement, either domestically or abroad. And by domestically, I mean cleansing the West of indigenous peoples, bringing enslaved Africans to the US, which is its own kind of domestic warfare, or abroad, where we are covertly affecting regime change, or overtly, like I would say covertly, the CIA has done more damage than I think we can calculate in Latin and South America. And then overtly, regime change in Iraq, which led to a 20-year occupation of that country and tens of thousands of our US military killed and maimed and traumatized for life, right?
Okay.
The US has never truly been at peace.
Never.
Not to mention the Cold War with the US, with Russia, which they were the USSR at that time. So for what Trump is doing in Venezuela is not without precedent.
Nope.
It's just not the good kind of precedent.
No. And so let me just back up really quick. Yes, I did answer my own question. He did get authorization from the UN. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, all right. Well, then that's all you need. Yeah.
Period. All right. There you go. All right.
Like, shut those people down. Shut those people down. Anyway.
Now, I literally kind of took me off guard. I was like, what the fuck? Where does this come from? Well, they do it to me all the time, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, so I to go back to this foolishness that's going on, this is unprecedented. He did not get UN or congressional approval for this.
Yes.
And what is most disconcerting, there's a couple of reasons why I'm concerned about this on so many different levels. Number one, again, like I said before, this can be, two things can be true at the same time. Yes, he is a dictator. And also, the reports go back to saying that this guy literally has slowed down oil production, XYZ. It's impacting their local economy in Venezuela in terms of even increasing the price of their groceries. People are living, they've been absconding people's property, XYZ. A lot of people have left there because of that. Now, that still does not make it right to go to another country because you fucking feel like it and do what you did.
Okay, but I mean, and can we just draw a parallel here for just a moment?
Go ahead. Yep.
ICE is absconding people.
There you go. I
ICE is rounding people up on the streets without a warrant. They present some administrative warrant. Those aren't valid. Right? It has to be signed by a judge. If it's not signed by a judge, it doesn't matter for shit. Period. Right. They're arresting U.S. citizens. They're deporting U.S. citizens, along with people who only, I think, out of, let's say, of the totality of the people who have been rounded up and deported, only 10% of them have convictions of violent crimes on U.S. soil, right? But all of these people are being denied due process. If what's happening here was happening somewhere else, the US would be like, we got to
intervene.
right there, right?
Mhm.
And yet what's happening in Venezuela, we haven't started rounding up people's land and stuff yet. And I say yet, right? Because the fuck that could come.
Right.
But only because I just can't put anything past this administration. They are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Oh my God.
Oh my God. They really are.
It is so bad. And I think what we also have to look at is a couple of things. What we don't want to do is let's not forego the real reason why you want to be in Venezuela. And it has nothing to do with their president. It has everything to do with oil. That's it.
And other natural resources, because I think Venezuela also has minerals and stuff like that.
Yes, they do. Yes. And we actually talked about that.
We did.
We did.
We did.
So go ahead.
Sorry. So I don't know if how many of you watching this know who Under the Desk News is, but Paulette and I follow them. And I saw right before we came on, I saw a video from them where they were at an event. They still had a tuxedo on. I believe the event was last night. And they asked some foreign relations expert person, like, is the US strikes and kidnapping of their president reminiscent of the 1989 invasion of Panama, which is when George H.W. Bush had the US military invade Panama and kidnap Manuel Noriega because we wanted greater control over the Panama Canal? Or is it more akin to the Nazi invasion of Poland in the 1930s, where they needed a place to house and dispose of undesirables?
My
and
God.
the person's answer
Both.
was yes.
Both.
To both.
Yes.
Right. And so I read Heather Cox Richardson every day.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know who she is a preeminent historian who ties previous US history to what's going on today.
Yeah.
She wants to show that, like, what's happening isn't really new. It's because we never learn from our past.
Correct.
And so we are always doomed to keep repeating those same mistakes.
Ridiculous.
And what she said was, the next 3 months will be hideous.
Yep.
And will continue to be an attack on the Constitution.
Yes.
That the next 3 months are going to give us the answer, maybe by May. So she's giving it like 3 to 5 months, on the true test of whether or not the United States becomes a true authoritarian regime or not. So we're going to find out by May, like, what's going on with the Trump regime. But it's going to be hideous because we're going to see escalated attempts at Trump to maintain control, not just of the narrative, because we all know that's happening, because release the goddamn Epstein files.
Already, for God's sake. Why don't we?
Look at what you're doing.
Yep.
And she is reminding us that sovereignty is the key, because really by invading Venezuela, and Paulette, please correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I got out of everything I read and heard today, is that the reason why so many people are experts who are focusing on sovereignty is because what that does is it feeds into Russia and China, who feel like then they can just go and start annexing and taking over weaker neighbors to reestablish their empires.
There you go.
And that she brought up the swearing in of Mayor Mamdani in New York, because while she remains a skeptic that politicians will do what they say they're going to do, what she wanted to remind us is that language is powerful. And the language that he was using was flipping on its head a lot of the rhetoric that we are hearing out of the Trump White House. And instead of being like, we're going to use the government to squash or do negative things, he's talking about using government for good and using government for the betterment of people, and it's for the people, not against XYZ, right? But she said the next 3 to 5 months are going to be the true test of whether or not the US is going to become an authoritarian regime. And she said, while many of us may be tempted, and I can understand the sentiment because of the onslaught, the never ending onslaught that we are dealing with from this administration is meant to distract, disarm, and exhaust us, right? But this is the moment we cannot look away.
Not at all.
This is the moment where we really have to dig in and demand accountability and demand answers. And hold our public representatives to account. And she brought specifically up, because obviously Democrats are like, what the fuck is happening, right? Like, you don't get to do that. But Democrats don't have a majority control in either the House or the Senate.
No.
Right?
And unfortunately, here's what's really fucked up is Republicans, the GOP, are literally like sitting ducks right now. Whether they agree with it or not, they're not doing anything. And
right. Well, and those of and worse than, well, I think, well, what do you think is worse? Do you think it's worse to not do anything, or worse to, and by not do anything, I mean by like staying silent? Or do you think it's worse that at first they were like, yo, you can't be doing this shit, and then now some of them are starting to flip? Which one do you think is worse?
I don't think it matters, at least for me. I think.
Okay.
I think.
Why do you say that?
Let me tell you why. Even in this situation, far worse has been going on in this country since this administration took office.
Yes. Oh, excuse me.
And because of that, I'm indifferent with how they have responded, because they have been indifferent since the beginning. They have seen the atrocities. They've seen the wrongdoings. They've seen what this administration is doing, and they have been complicit. They have been, if we're seeing what is happening with the Department of Homeland Security, if we are seeing our dollars, Kristi Noem taking millions of dollars of our hard-earned dollars, and if we're seeing her pay her own homeboys and homegirls for a company that had never existed to give them a contract, a government contract, and y'all still out here cutting up and doing all kinds of low down dirty shit to people. You're dragging pregnant people. You are picking up people from all over the US of A. You said that you were going after criminals, which we all knew that was a lie. I feel like I'm on a talk show whenever I say that. You watched it like we're watching it. Not only that, but you have watched him go after the people that went after him. You've known that this sapsucker has been low down and no good for years. Yet here you are, and you are still complicit. Y'all so complicit that when he starts getting under your skin, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and you find out for yourself, now mind you, all of the atrocities matter, not just one. So you decide that because he's officially in the Epstein files and he doesn't want them to be released, all of a sudden everything else that he's done doesn't matter. Let's focus on that. Well, we're gonna focus on everything in the fucking pot. How about that? And you can't pick and choose the right and the wrong of it. You have to say, every day this guy and this administration is doing something that is literally not for the people, not by the people, but yet and still we're paying for it. We're paying for him to be in office and for his folks to literally sit there and smile like nothing is going on. So I'm indifferent. I don't care that they're one way or another. They haven't done anything since. They should have stopped this joker at the pass early on and been like, no, 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 and no. And they haven't. And it's almost as if they're scared of this punk ass old dude.
And okay, thank you, because that confuses the hell out of me.
You don't get that.
I don't get it either. Like, I feel like, does he have just a file cabinet in the Oval Office where he's like, let me look for this person's file and see the shit that I've been able to gather on them that I'll threaten with releasing if they don't go along? Like, honestly, and I know, God, it sounds so spy thriller-ish.
It's so dumb to me because, first of all, this, first of all, if you had anything, then you shouldn't have ever run for anything. If you felt like anything in your past was too shameful for you to ever have come out, then you should have stayed your ass at the house. But you didn't do that. You said that you were going to represent the American people when you took these opportunities, and we voted your ass in, whether you be Republican or Democrat. But no, you decide to go in here and not represent the people, and you still continue to get paid, even when there was a government shutdown. Yet it's still, we had people who were out of work for almost 60 days because of this, the incompetence of all of y'all, not Democrats, just Republicans. Everybody was incompetent. Yep. And let's put this in perspective. The only reason why we stopped that government shutdown even stopped was because these big box retailers were like, y'all getting ready to fuck up Christmas. We cannot.
What was that part? Oh my God.
We cannot go into 2026 in the red. We need a Black Christmas. What y'all doing?
Right.
Fix this.
Okay, so
yeah, so there's that.
I just want to bring up what you said, the government shutdown, because the next one is coming. Hold on.
January 31st?
It's in less than a month. Like, it's coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming really, really soon.
Oh yeah.
Like, we're gonna have to deal with another round of bullshit and a government shutdown, because they only agreed to fund the government for like 60 days.
Correct. Yeah.
And so that was like November 15th or something like that.
Right.
Right. So that gives us only, what's today? January 4th. So that gives us 11 days.
11 days. And then we'll be right back where we started. And I guarantee, and see, here's the thing. The Democrats, with your dumb ass, y'all rescinded. You said, oh, okay, well, we'll see what you guys do. You already told us you're not gonna, but we'll go ahead and stop.
Listen, Democrat. Okay, I'm going to say this slowly. Democrats are not the party of opposition and resistance. And while I am painfully fucking aware that they are our biggest hope for November,
my God,
they remain not the party of opposition and resistance. They are still very much, well, let's try to talk it out. The rules say that we should be doing this or we could be doing that. Listen, Chuck, Hakeem, all of you all. Nobody gives a fuck about those rules.
No, fuck them.
Fuck the rules.
He don't give a damn.
I want you to start shit on fire.
Yes.
Both figuratively and literally.
And literally, yeah.
Anyway, back to Venezuela.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go down that road. But you asked, and I mean,
it's fine. You act like we never do this, that we never go down 15 different avenues during our conversation
all the time.
Like, come on, have you met us?
Yes, we've met. Yes, y'all. I just want you all to understand that, and we haven't even really, we still on the very surface. We just picking the scab. We ain't really, because this dude has already made it clear that he is going after Nigeria.
Yeah, and can I just remind the people that when you and I made our last episode, which I believe was on December 26th, I specifically said,
you did,
this is about oil. And you brought up the long list of highly lucrative, the highly lucrative market for there's like 40 some minerals on this list you presented, right?
Yep.
And some mediocre white man in your comments all his audacity to try to argue with me.
Yep. He did.
And now,
Here we are.
here we are.
Everything.
Now, I
you
would
said.
also like to be very clear.
Yes.
I was married to a Nigerian for 26 and a half years.
Say it again. And you all have children and grandchildren.
We do. We
Yeah.
do. We have beautiful kids and beautiful grandchildren.
Yes, we do.
And while he and I don't really converse about that much, his cousin and I do, because he is one of the Grand's pediatricians, for real. But we talk about this all the time, not like on the phone or even via text, but through Facebook, because he posts stuff, I post stuff, and then we converse, right?
Right.
He just got back from Nigeria, or maybe he's still there. No, he would be back now. But if you would ask him, he would have said the same thing. He's like, this is some bullshit.
It is.
The US does nothing unless there is something in it for the country.
That's right.
And or for the oligarchs who control the country.
That part.
And that is what Venezuela is about. Mm-hmm. That is what Nigeria is about. That's what fucking Greenland is about.
Exactly.
Because don't get it twisted. We're looking at a triangle. You want to talk about the axis of evil? Remember that? Mm-hmm. Axis of evil. Who was that again? Syria, Iraq, and I forget the third one. I'm going to look it up because, I need to know. Axis. I almost spelled it with an E.
You know, this coconut water is really not cool without ice in it.
Wait, what are you drinking?
Coconut water.
Oh. I mean, what? Iran, Iraq, and North Korea. My bad. But what we have right now is an excess of colonial annihilation and opportunity, right? Mm-hmm. Greenland. I'm going to do it backwards. So Greenland, Nigeria, Venezuela, triangle. Yeah. And Stephen Miller's Real Housewives of Dipshitnessville puts a picture of Greenland with the fucking American flag over it.
And it says, this bitch says, soon.
Soon. I'm sorry. And I know that this is probably asking for more than I am willing to pay personally. But when is NATO going to get their shit together and put a stop to some of this?
Put a stop to it. It's almost, I'm the reason why I'm so indifferent, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just kind of like sitting back watching.
I think you're not indifferent. I think you're numb.
I'm sitting here and I'm going, nobody's doing a damn thing. Let me just say it how I want to say it. Ain't nobody doing a motherfucking thing. The people in
that part,
nothing. So and I'm blown away. There is no room to meet. This man has already said he is coming, and he has said, wait. I screenshot it because I wanted to make sure I got this shit right. He said, let's talk about Nigeria just for a hot second. Let's pull it back. This is the very shit we talked about last week, right? Mm-hmm. We said, and you said, it's about the oil. So then this fool says, he issues an attack warning to Nigerian government. If they don't stop the prosecution of Christians, the U.S. will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. XYZ, da-da-da-da-da. But we told you that's what he was going to do, because he doesn't just want, it's not about Christians. It's not about Muslims. It's not about ISIS. It's not about all of the things that they're lying to you and telling you it's about. It is about the resources. It is about the resources.
He doesn't give a shit.
Not at all.
About Christians. Yeah. If he cared so much about Christians, he'd be mad about Gaza. If he cared so much about Christians, he would be mad. Where else are they being persecuted? I don't know. I don't even care. But I care that people are being persecuted. I know what you mean. But you know what I mean. Okay.
Then wait. And if we think that what's also happening in Africa is not a part of this, I need you all to start paying attention to what is happening globally right now. Mm-hmm. So a couple of things. Let's back up. I want to bring this up, and then I want to focus on some other things that are happening, because with so much news and information that's happening and people getting ready to go back to work, you might have missed some very important points. Number one, Burkina Faso, the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, has already told France to kick rocks. And now France's economy has crashed.
Collapsing.
Right? So they don't know what the fuck to do. But you know what they are trying to do? They're trying to bring in other people to help take this dude out. So last night, another attempt was made on his life because France wants access to his resources. And he's like, no, you're not getting access to those resources. And the former president of Burkina Faso was a part of this coup that just happened. Now let's put this in. Let's go back. Wait
a minute. Wait, can I ask for clarification?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when Ibrahim Traore was put into power, you're saying the former president helped put him into power, or they were part of the French?
They were a part of the French.
Thank you. Okay, so you need to be clear on that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Now, thank you for asking me to clarify. Now, let's look at this. Let's look at what's recently happened. Now, Donald Trump and his regime, which is what I'm going to start calling them, has said that they are literally going to put their own person of power, which they are looking at someone from Cuba, to put that person in. Yes.
He also said he wants to do the same thing in Cuba that he's doing in Venezuela.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, how do you do that when in all reality they've already sworn in the vice president of Venezuela as the president of Venezuela, who has already traveled to Russia to ask for backup right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we? Yeah. Okay. So, so the Heather Cox Richardson report I read this morning was that, yes, okay, the vice president of Venezuela has already been sworn in.
Yeah.
But the focus of this whole critique of this operation, and I use operation very fucking loosely, was because there's been no planning beyond, right? Like it wasn't, we're going to go do A, which will lead to B to C, right? Like through the alphabet. Like there's been no contingency plans in case some shit goes south at some point, right?
Around clearly what's happening.
Mm-hmm. They're building the plane as they fly it, which I forget where that even comes from. I know it's a criticism probably during the first Trump administration, but okay, can I just ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
I thought you knew that.
I mean, here's the thing. No, I did know all that, but my point is that when I was reading her report this morning, the reason why that stuck out to me so much, as opposed to like all the other glaring points of bullshit, is that this is part and parcel of his sales shtick, right?
Yeah.
He says, let's just say he says 5 things.
Mm-hmm.
2 of them are true for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Positively true. 2 of them have a kernel of truth. No, 1 has a kernel of truth. 2 are outright fucking lies.
Yeah.
And the cult continues to just line up behind him, ready to push him forward as his doddering, sundowning, ailing ass continues to fall backwards.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so to not have this plan, it didn't really surprise me because this is what started happening now. I used to read Heather Cox Richardson in the morning and be like, God damn. What banana pants bullshit are we being subjected to now? Right?
And then I would read it and I would, yeah.
And now I read it and I laugh. I laugh in that unfunny, holy shit, you've got to be fucking kidding me kind of way, right?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing funny about this. The ramifications, first of all, they're myriad, right? We can't even point to all of them. But also, the potential for real, lasting damage to real people just trying to live their fucking lives.
That part.
Not even the people in power. I'm talking like people like you
Everyday
and me.
people. Yeah.
Right? Like the potential damage is and I'm not trying to say Maduro is a good guy. Clearly he sucks.
He's got some issues.
He sucks butt all the way around. Right?
Exactly. We're not saying that he doesn't.
I don't think the Venezuelan people are being served by him. No. But you know what? It's their country. If they want things to change, they have to be the ones to change it.
Absolutely.
We cannot come in unilaterally and be like, well, we're the world's police. We never should have been the world's police. We don't have the upper hand. Our morality is not bulletproof.
No. Not at all.
Jesus Christ. We're still lynching people.
Yes. Yeah.
Both covertly with the young man who was found hanging from a goddamn tree in a golf course in Brookfield, Wisconsin, and they're like, it's suicide. People, let me tell you something. Yeah. Black folks don't hang themselves from fucking trees.
No.
Number one. Number two, they don't do it in goddamn Lily White Brookfield.
No.
Okay? That doesn't happen. So yes, covertly, and by covertly, I mean not government sanctioned, officially, right? Like that's happening. But then we also have ICE, who has full government backing to conduct a wide array of lynching-like activities. And nobody can be held accountable for that.
Nobody.
That's what's going to happen. Okay.
Yeah. Yet. And here's what we need to also understand, and I'm taking this to metaphysics, is that whatsoever you do, it will find you. It will find you. It will come back to find you. That which you focus upon, you will get more of. And so when they are out here in these streets and they are creating the havoc and the hell that they are creating, a couple of things that we have to recognize is if we just sit still long enough. And your question is probably going to be, well, how long is too long? We will find out.
Yeah.
And not before. That's the hard part. That's the rub. That's the most difficult part about all of this, is that if anyone here thinks that any regime that ever created this kind of chaos ever stayed in power, I want you to check your history books again, because they never do.
They don't. But you want to know what the average life is of an authoritarian regime?
How long?
31 years.
Well, honey, we're in the middle of it.
But again, we also have to look at, but people will be like, oh, but Hitler didn't stick around. Yes, because why? We had an allied response.
We did.
To a threat to the world.
Yes.
Because at the time when the Allies were invading, which, by the way, can we just remind people again? Every soldier who fought in World War II was Antifa, because Antifa stands for anti-fascist.
Yes.
Okay, we've already been down this road.
Already been down this road.
But we had an allied response to a world-ending threat.
Yep.
Because right before D-Day, Hitler was making plans. He was like, how can we get across the Atlantic and invade the U.S.? That was happening. That was a plan that was on the Nazi table. So don't think, if the U.S. does fall completely into authoritarianism, which we are probably 9/10 of the way there at this point anyway.
Yeah, we are.
And I say that without any empirical data to back me up. So take that with a grain of salt, or a truck, whatever. But if we do fall into full-on authoritarianism, I just want to be really clear that the rest of the world is not going to come and save us.
No.
Our military power, honestly, is too mighty for that. It will be up to us, me, Paulette, you, your neighbors, your kids, whatever, your neighborhood, like when I say neighbors, I mean literally the people who live next door.
People who live next door to you, yeah.
It's going to take us to bring it down. And that's what Heather Cox Richardson was pointing out in her, I think she went live today. But she was saying the next 3 to 5 months are going to be the true test. is it going to be Trump continuing to grab these levers of control and turn us into a true authoritarian regime? Or is it going to be the American people saying, absolutely the fuck not?
Right.
We got to pick a road, folks. There's no middle ground here.
And the hard part is so many people are still cheering him on in this bullshit.
Those are those weak ass white people who have been the same ones brainwashed in 1676.
I think also it's other people too who are just super excited to be a part of something that they believe they're a part of, whether they be Black or Asian. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me fix my face.
Yes, please. Just go ahead, fix it. It's all right, honey. It's okay. They are out there and it is horrifying. And people want to believe that they're a part of this big deal. I want you all to know that this is the same man who this is the same regime. These are the same people that sent a young white boy under the age of 25 to Minnesota with false information about Somali daycares. And
yes, they were behind it. Okay, that is we got to talk. That's a whole episode on its own.
It really is.
But the point is taken that these are people who will do almost anything.
That's my point.
To hold on to even the illusion of power.
And because of that, they have shut down child care payments for the entire fucking country off of a lie. And now this boy is getting ready to get sued and he's terrified.
He's just, son, let me tell you something.
What do you say? Son,
let me tell you something. Friend,
I know.
You should have thought about that. Like, I realize your frontal lobe development is probably not where it should be, and potentially never will be, because you seem dumb as a box of hair.
A box of hair, not rocks.
Box of hair. And I hate that you will. All we can hope is that he sings, right? All we can really hope for is that he sings at this point. And Congress people are like, oh, well, shit, we better start. And that's another thing, too. Sorry, I interrupted myself mid-thought.
It's okay. One of us.
Our GDP is going down.
Yes, it is.
And without child care centers, because really what they want is for women to not work, right?
Right.
So they want to turn back the clock.
Yep.
250 years or more. Where only wealthy white men had the vote. Only the sons of wealthy white men could be educated, because back then we didn't have public school, and you had to educate people by paying for them to go to school. And where non-white people were not allowed to read, write, or hold any type of professional jobs because they couldn't get the education to do them. They want to privatize education. They want to make public school public, right? It's actually going to be privatized education.
It is happening. They're doing it, right? So like we're watching it happen in real time.
Yep.
So I need people to also understand that anything that you thought that you had any control over, you don't, because everybody owns all these rich folks, they own everything. And because we're not doing our homework, we're missing that point. We're missing all of the points.
We said it probably, I don't know, first, second, or third episode. We'll say it again. This country has always been an oligarchy. It's always been run by oligarchs. It has been developed for oligarchs. It is haven for oligarchs, right? And we've let it go on unchallenged for the most part, in great numbers unchallenged, because we were afforded a quote unquote comfortable way of life, meaning, you know, if you worked hard and pulled yourself up by your bootstraps and that whole thing, right? And we believed it. We believed it. So, but when the blinders come off, you know, that saying that when you know better, you do better. I don't really think that's true. I think when you know better, you have the choice to do better, and we hope that you'll do better.
Right.
But when you know better, at least you do have the opportunity to do better, right? And so many people have chosen to not do better.
No.
And that's how we got to where we are now.
Yeah, we got comfortable.
Comfortable for all the wrong reasons, considering since Reagan was elected in 1980, well, when he took office in 81, $80 trillion has moved from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
Like, how are we okay with that? Why, for people who shout about smaller government, Republicans, you are full of shit.
Yep.
Full of shit. And Democrats, I'm sorry, you are not any better.
No, you are not immune, honey. None of them are. And it's really just kind of just a mess the more I look at it overall, because I have not, and I go through the news and I'm looking to see, what our Congress people are doing, what the Senate is currently doing. Why do I fucking feel like they've been like on the longest vacation ever? Nobody is saying a goddamn thing. The only person I have seen recently was Bernie Sanders swore in Mumdon. That's the only thing that I've seen, right?
Well, technically they're on break.
They ought not to be on no damn break. When we looking at the shit that we're fucking looking at right now, all of their asses need to get the fuck up and go back to goddamn work. Now,
you are preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the choir. I'm just stating.
They ought to get up. What the hell you mean you on a fucking break and this goddamn country is falling to the depths of all hell? And you on a fucking break?
Yeah.
This man is doing what the fuck he wants to. Marco Rubio is standing up there with his shoulders shrunk in, confused as all get out, trying to justify what this man just fucking did to the press, and nobody's there. Everybody's giggling. And nobody is saying shit. Now, we're talking about the same guy who literally did not get the UN's approval or Congress's approval, and this motherfucker's still in office. Not only that, but like I just said, we're talking about he is threatening Greenland, threatening Nigeria, and also saying, listen, we're going to do what we want to, how we want to do it. And you're not going to be able to stop me because guess what? You haven't been able to stop me. So you're not going to stop me. And we've removed everybody that was going to question anything militarily that we want to do. Because old Petey boy over there with his drunk ass is going to run everything the way that I want him to run it. And you're not going to be able to say shit.
Well, I think we also need to remember, while Trump did withdraw the National Guard troops from Portland, Chicago, and LA, because even the US Supreme Court was like, no, you can't do that, right?
Stop. Yep.
For the most part, the courts are only as strong as the law enforcement, the arm of the law that will enforce the rulings, right? We have to remember that the courts don't really have any power.
Clearly.
It's up to the participants to go along with what the justices say, no matter what level of court we're looking at, whether it's state, district, or federal court, right? Or even the Supreme Court. We just, it's up to those people. I think though, and I wonder, and I'm afraid to say this out loud, but I wonder, because a couple weeks ago, time is fluid, I don't remember the day, but you and I talked, well, we've talked about it probably a lot, is that we believe the current conservative, and I use that in quotations, conservative majority on the court, they've known their assignment for years. And Kavanaugh and Barrett, who are the two most recent appointees, were quickly given their assignment and told to get on board, right? But I wonder if some of the rulings coming out of the Supreme Court now are more about reading the temperature of the country as opposed to going with their assignments, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. That's still horrifying, though.
100% it is. Absolutely, because what that tells me is that they are more subject to the changing whims and blowing winds
Right.
of the country, the president, public opinion, all that stuff, as opposed to following the letter of the law.
The letter of the law, and they're not doing that. That's clear, because at the end of the day, you do know what right and wrong is.
Well, and it's really clear to me that in the Constitution it says every person present in the United States gets due process. Not every citizen, not every resident, because a resident could be, green card or whatever. It says person. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, or what your legal immigration status is at the point that you need that due process. You are still entitled to it based on the wording of the Constitution.
Period.
I don't know, but
this is a mess.
But the honestly, the future of our U.S. democracy has never been at a more critical juncture, other than potentially the Civil War. And I really, if you take nothing else away from this broadcast, I really, really, really want you to consider the ways that you can resist, make your voice heard, and be as loud as fucking possible.
Yep. And you have to do it, because honestly, you have to be Antifa. You have to be anti-fascist. You have to fight in the ways that are the simplest. And we also have to also understand, and this is kind of hard. It's hard to do. Because a couple things that we need to understand. First of all, let's do some breaking updates really quick for today. Nicholas Maduro and his wife are in U.S. custody. I actually watched them come off of the plane last night. They were captured, or rather absconded, whatever you want to call it.
They kidnapped him
by U.S. forces during the overnight military Operation Absolute Resolve yesterday. They were flown to New York and are now in federal custody. We will be sharing the link to the indictment document itself. I looked at it last night.
So can we also just say for a second, because I just looked up like a minute ago, what Wisconsin federal lawmakers are saying about this. And of course, Tammy Baldwin, who's our U.S. Senate, Democratic U.S. Senator, is like, this is nonsense. And Brian Stile, who represents the 1st Congressional District as a Republican in the House, is like, well, he's, a narco terrorist and he deserves this. I would just like to remind people, these Maduro and his wife were not indicted in an international court. These are U.S. indictments that have no jurisdiction past the line around the country. Like, that's it.
There you go. I'd
just like to point that out. We didn't have any jurisdiction to go in and grab those people.
That's even
whether
worse.
or not they're horrible people or great people, it doesn't really matter.
We broke the law. We broke
the law. We broke international law.
Period.
And our own laws too, by the way. So
yeah, absolutely. Now, U.S. government position is currently this. Donald Trump has announced the capture and stated the U.S. would, quote, run Venezuela temporarily. However, it's really hard to say that because, number one, they've already sworn in their vice president, and she's already in Russia. Okay, moving on. Venezuelan authorities, including the defense minister, have denounced the operation as a cowardly kidnapping. I would agree with them, in a violation of sovereignty, with reports of Venezuelan bodyguards and personnel being killed. And that number has actually increased since you and I have been on this particular show. So again, Delcy Rodriguez is the current acting president of Venezuela currently. Now, due to the military operations, the FAA has briefly closed U.S. and Caribbean airspace. I actually have friends who are stuck in the Caribbean right now, cannot get out because guess what? Of this bullshit. So they can't get home, can't get back to work. This was their last hoorah before the new year began, and they are stuck in the Caribbean. They don't know if or when they will be able to get home at any time. And these are moms, these are wives, these are business owners who cannot get back to the States. Okay. Yeah. This is deep. U.S. political and domestic reaction has been the following. The Pentagon has notified Congress after the fact that the operation was authorized by the president, citing a national security threat, which is a bunch of bullshit.
What national security threat?
Exactly. Now, this is according to the Washington Post here. Lawmakers are divided along partisan lines over presidential authority and constitutional war power concerns. International reaction. Countries like Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Mexico, and Spain. Let's talk about that, because he's also going after after Mexico. I do need you to also
Oh,
understand.
that's right. Shit, he did say that. He was like, Mexico is next. I was like,
yep. I want you all
okay.
to understand this is serious. This is, we can sit here and laugh and talk, and like I always say, kiki, and make fun of this. But in
No,
the end,
this is not a
this is
laughing
serious.
matter.
It's not. It's absolutely not. They've issued strong criticism warning that the U.S. sanction threatens regional peace and violates international norms, while other nations such as Argentina offered support for what they frame as liberation from dictatorship. Now, the United Nations Security Council was reported to be planning an emergency meeting over the events. We all motherfuckers need to hurry the hell up. And
Russia fucking called for it.
Right, call it. Protests have erupted globally, including outside U.S. cities, with demonstrators condemning what they call U.S. military aggression and unilateral intervention. So, what's not confirmed yet is this. President Trump initially said the U.S. would run Venezuela. However, how do you do that with a sitting president? Okay, independent verification from neutral observers inside Venezuela is limited, and conflicting claims persist about control inside the country. So there you have it. I just kind of wanted to kind of sum up what we might have missed, but like you said, one of the other things was he did say that he was headed for Mexico as well. Now I want y'all to know a couple of things. He doing this now here we are, we're talking about Nigeria, we're talking about Venezuela, we're talking about Greenland, we're also talking about Mexico, we're talking about all of these places that he wants to go. I want you all to fucking stand that if you think that this twerp is just doing this and not ruffling feathers in other countries, you are sadly fucking mistaken. I want y'all to understand these people are like Bill Clinton was last week when I said this. I ain't never scared. They're not afraid to go to, because see, all they have to do is get together and partner a couple of them over here and a couple more over here, and they'll rally together. I need you all to understand he's put us in a very precarious situation. And it's from a military perspective, we can say what we want to about the US having XYZ. Iran is already very clear. They're pissed off about it because they were building a relationship and obtaining some of their resources from Venezuela. They're like, oh, is that what you're doing? Hold on just a minute, because don't y'all have military bases over here? Let's go ahead and set those up to be bombed. This was yesterday's conversation.
It is putting it. I think what people don't understand is Maduro and his wife can be absolutely the most heinous people on the face of the earth. And I'm sure they rank up there, right? I'm sure they do. But when I said that this whole thing is putting regular people at risk,
that's what we mean.
Like, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, Iran, and by regular people, I do mean our military. Those
are our sons and our daughters.
Yes. Yeah. Our nieces, our nephews. It's
oh yeah.
It's bone chilling. It should be bone chilling.
Go ahead and put Barron out there. Go and put him on the front line. Go. Let's see how fast you figure something out.
I mean, honest God,
go ahead and put your own babies up there. If Pete got kids, go ahead and put their kids out there. If Stephen and his wife got churned, go. Yeah, I said it just like the old folks say. If any one of these people that are in leadership right now have children, go ahead and put their kids on the front line right now.
Yep.
And let's see how fast you all figure some shit out.
Yep.
Because like you said, it's the average American individual who is going to end up being impacted. And y'all, let's be clear on a couple of things. This has everything to do with the loss of the power of the American dollar. It is everything to do with oil. And the hard part that we are not paying attention to is this is getting ready to impact us on so many different levels. Because if we think that other countries are not going to stand in solidarity with Venezuela and with other places who are being threatened by the United States, now we're talking about trade going south. Right? Mm-hmm. We're already impacted with tariffs. But if you think that people are not going to be like, no, we're not selling you shit.
Well, and that's another thing too. Is like
here.
This whole concept of American exceptionalism is smoke and mirrors.
Yep.
It's smoke and mirrors, because honestly, the world does not need us.
No.
I mean, I forget what it was, but during one of our previous conversations, I reported that since the unilateral cessation of USAID, US aid, international aid,
Mm-hmm.
the same number of people that make up the population of Milwaukee, Wisconsin have died around the world because we haven't done that. Now, I know that number has increased, probably dramatically. Now, would it be awesome if other countries could step up and fill that gap? Yes. Yes, it would be. It would be great. But in terms of trade, finding soybeans, cattle, corn, I don't know any other stuff that we export, but all the other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or even the stuff that we import, pieces and parts that we import and then assemble here to be sold here. They don't need us for that. We want to pretend that we're the end all be all of the world. But
that's what he
would
have us to believe.
We're not, but we're not.
No.
We're not. That's why China's going to South America for their soybeans. That's why China's going elsewhere for their corn. That's why, wheat imports and export. Like, I believe Heather Cox Richardson when she says that this is going to be the defining few months in our lifetimes. I mean, we thought COVID was defining, right? Because we think about things now before COVID, after COVID, right? Like that's kind of our mark. Some of us might be before the death of Prince, after the death of Prince.
Right. Yeah.
Or Michael Jackson, or because 2016 sucked as a year to lose music people. But I think she is correct, and because she's way smarter than me and knows way more things than I do. But she's right. We're going to have to. What is the country that we want to have?
Right.
What is the country where we want our children, our grandchildren to grow up?
Right.
And what are we willing to do to make that happen?
Right.
So,
there we go.
Any final thoughts, friend?
I really don't have any. I think we've covered quite a bit and squirreled a little bit, but it all came back down to these next couple of months. And I don't think that we've seen the last of how everyday Americans are going to be impacted by these decisions, by these people that don't care anything about us. Yet we voted them in because we believe the lie that they told, that they would represent the American people. And if nothing else, I want you all to remember that this is also midterm year, and you better be doing your fucking due diligence. You had better be paying attention. I'm going to start going back to identifying each one of the folks who are currently in office. And if they are going to be running again, if they're the incumbent, you need to know who in the hell they are. You need to know what money they've taken and who they really represent and what they've done during this administration and previous. You need to know. I don't care if it's Democrat. I don't care if it's Republican, Libertarian. I don't give a damn. You need to know. And then we're also going to look at some other things as well. Who's running and what are they telling you? You need to start asking these questions, because who is going to flip this place around? There needs to be a blue wave, not because I am pro-Democrat. I'm pro what's right. We got to get somebody in there that is going to be able to help flip some shit around and stop some stuff from beginning from being any worse than it already is. We're in trouble, and I need you all to understand we're in fucking trouble. Stop pretending that we're not. We are.
We are.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Good morning, evening, afternoon, whenever you catch this. And we will see you next week. We never have an actual date, but we'll just make it next week. And thanks for joining the Rivalry Report. Adios.
Bye.